I think we all know what happened with Johnny Somali, right? I would like light up a lot of fireworks. Uh, the day that happened with Johnny Somali, I swear I would like. I was so happy. I love see like justice being made. I love Fafo. Mainly the part of the foe that is the last one that they usually avoid mostly. So I'm loving and knowing that this guy like probably I don't know is he like arrested already, like is he already on jail, like already like doing the sentence. If he is, he might be doing some forced labor right now, right? So I love that. But I don't know the details. I don't know the details about that. And this is why I decided to bring you guys here. I saw on X, and I saw that Legal Might said did a video about that. And I'm so much interested to see how much time he will be doing forced labor there. Because I don't know the details. All I know is that he got arrested for good, he got condemned, and he will start like having forced labor. This is all I know. I don't know any more details, so we're gonna watch this together. The title of this video is Jonas Somali sentenced to 6 months and 20 days. Oh wait, that's not too much. I thought it was more. Now I'm kind of depressed, but at least it has like prison with labor. Yeah, at least it has labor. 6 months and 20 days prison with labor. It's not much, to be honest.
I know for a fact I'm not gonna go to jail. Not one day in jail. I'm gonna laugh my off when all these.
I'm kind of depressed now, but it's better than nothing, I guess.
20 years, 5 years, 10 years, bro. I'm telling you, I'm not even gonna do one day, bro. They're gonna give me a fine. They're gonna say, "Don't come back to Korea." You're the one who's gonna look so dumb when I don't get.
I thought it was like 6 years.
Bro, I'm gonna laugh like a.
Oh, I'm kind of depressed now. I'm kind of depressed now. I thought
Johnny
it was more.
Somali, aka Ramzi Khalid Ismail, has been sentenced to 6 months.
I mean, come on, I'm not alone on this, right, guys? Like, all of you think like me on this, right? Like, do you guys think that what he done deserves more than 6 months of jail and forced labor? I think it does. Come on, I think it does. I'm not crazy, right? Why 6 months? What the hell is this, man? And after all this long, after all this time, just 6 months? What happened with all those other like charges? All those other like what happened with that? They like legal mindset was always like making like the sum of the amount of the years that he would spend on jail. I think Atozi did a lot to that, and what happened with all those years that he would spend on jail? Like, how did that all of that just became like 6 months after all he done? That's crazy. That's really crazy. That's really crazy. And I saw some people. Now I feel kind of bad. I was so happy, but I didn't know that it is. Now that I know, I kind of feel bad, to be honest. Oh, Foxu is not happy now. Foxu unhappy. Foxu will not release fireworks. Yeah. Okay. But people were telling on X like, wow, this will serve as an example so other like insane like sicko streamers like them don't do the same. But no, it's on the contrary, because where is the law enforcement? Did all of us saw everything that he done for this entire time, all this period, all this time of the trial? For the guy just like get 6 months? It will encourage other streamers to do this. After all the other streamers, probably everything that they do will not reach the level of Jonas Somali. So if they are thinking like, wow, if Jonas Somali did all of that and the max that he got after all that long was 6 months in jail, well, I will do the same because it's not much that risky. In the end, I will just like stay in the jail like 6 months or less. So it's worth it. This is what they're gonna think. No, this doesn't help like prevent other people from doing that. This incentivizes people in doing that. That's really crazy. It just has the exact opposite effect, in my opinion. At least my opinion. Might be wrong though. Yeah, let's watch it. Let's see what happened. I mean, probably he's gonna explain, right? Like what happened with all those other charges. Let's see how it goes.
And 20 days in prison with labor in Seoul, South Korea today. We're going to get that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be around judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney who's been tracking this from beginning to end. And today we're going to break out the exact reasons for the guilty plea, his imprisonment, his
By the way, shout out for Legal Mindset. He's probably not gonna see this, but I wanna see that anyway. I say that anyway, because this guy is always like giving amazing insights of all this stuff and let us know about all the legal tremits and the lawful stuff behind all of this. And I think it's pretty much important that the work that he does, I like very much. So shout out to him for that.
sentence and what happens next. So let's get into what happened today in Seoul, South Korea. So first of all, to just get to my opening statements, Ramzi Khalid Ismail, aka Johnny Somali, was found guilty on all 8 charges. So there were 4 counts of business obstruction, 2 counts of the Minor Crimes Act, and 2 counts of the deepfake distribution. Guilty on all charges. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison with labor, an additional 20 days of detention, and 5 years of offender status.
Oh, there is 5 years of offender status as well, but I still think that is not enough. But yeah, it's something more. Yeah.
With his phones being permanently confiscated. But how did we get there? Well, we got there through a team effort.
Oh, what? Phones permanent confiscated? Do you want me really to believe that the guy will not use any phones after leaving the jail? Okay. Okay, I totally will believe on that. Of course.
Started this in front of the same courtroom, and their photo here today is a photo, and once again in front of that same courtroom today. But it was a team effort. My team, the Somali conviction team, worked very hard submitting evidence, submitting facts, and really getting into it with this process where we wanted to have jail time instead of the normal process where foreigners are often just given a fine and let go, which we thought could be a very, very real possibility if there was not more attention on this. And you can see we had Korean media, which interviewed us, and many people from the team were there. You've got Professor Ulrich Nod, you've got Kangmin Lee, who's showed up off.
Oh, what? So after all of this, like, the guy had like the serious risk of not going to jail at all? Well, like, that's why Jonas Somali was so confident about it. He was too much confident that I wasn't going to jail. And he wasn't wrong. The only reason that he's on jail now is because of the huge attention that everyone had on it for all this long. People just didn't forget for all this period of time about what he done, and that's why he's on jail for 6 months. It seems like the entire justice system was fighting for him, fighting for not arresting him, fighting to put him out. But people put so much pressure on this matter, like watching and and always looking at and seeing what was going on behind his trial, that they had to give like some very stupid prison time to him. I think this is what is happening here, to be honest. This is so much sad. This is so much sad. I'm sad now.
Of X, you've got Atozi, you've got myself, Gabe, another individual who showed up who saw the coverage. You've got Atozi's editor. Everybody worked together. This was a huge team effort. There are a lot of people that aren't even pictured in this that worked together to get this
No,
done.
come
and because of
on.
the coverage of this, and also the coverage in Korean media, as you see here, that actually led to a different result than normal. But let's get into the trial facts itself. So how did the trial start? Well, the trial started packed with observers. Now, the first time I came, there was hardly anybody in that courtroom about a year and a half ago. However, today, standing room only. People were standing, sitting on the floor, all there for Somali. They had to put up actually the red tape. They had to line people up. It was very, very much more chaotic than normal. Now, strict security was enforced. There was no phones or recording, as well as no reactions or expression. At one
He's
point,
very
when
short.
someone smiled during the courtroom, the bailiff actually corrected them to, hey, no expressions, no, keep it serious, keep it somber. And the judge did remain the same throughout the trial. Now, the prosecutor did change in the spring from the older male prosecutor that was there before to a new female prosecutor, which was there today in this case. Now, what happened? Well, first, there was the guilty portion, because first they had to assess the guilt, because Ramsey had pled guilt on 6 of the charges, the business obstruction and the Minor Crimes Act, but still reasserted his non-guilty plea regarding the deepfakes. So the judge found Somali guilty on the deepfakes, as we predicted he would, because a reasonable person of the age and gender of the victims would experience shame at the deepfakes. The judge then went on to say, okay, you're guilty. Now let's talk about sentencing. And he said, in his opinion, there were both mitigating and aggravating factors for the sentencing of Somali. So the mitigating factors that he explained in this case.
King-sama, how many days till he becomes a prison wife? Well, we actually forgot about that. He might have escaped the justice of the man. And by the way, that's also includes the justice of the man. But I mean, he might not he might not be forgotten like by the forget by the natural law. You know what I mean? Inside the prison, yeah. There is still the natural law. I think he will be processed. Will be processed inside the prison, Koreans don't like he very much, Yeah. I think he will be processed inside that to not see other things.
Were for that victim.
Very good
Youngman
point,
and
Kisama.
Hank
Very
Yu
good point.
did not want Somali to be punished, and there has been a settlement with
He
Youngman that
getting
they tried to
diddled.
get the charges dropped. So they weren't
Oh my
dropped,
God,
but the
man.
judge did say he did factor that in for mitigation. They also said that victim Bong Bong did not experience severe shame or embarrassment.
Don't drop
And
the
had she
soap.
experienced more severe embarrassment, perhaps there would be a more harsh punishment. They also
If he dropped the soap there, he will be insulted.
said, and this is very interesting, that the travel ban and the inability to return home were technical disadvantages for Somali. That was very curious to me, because if he had been allowed to leave and go home, he clearly would have not come back and not face any punishment, never gone to jail. He would have just not come back to Korea. However, he did bring up aggravating factors. The aggravating factors he brought up were that Somali repeatedly committed crimes primarily for YouTube revenue and broadcasted these with no regard for the victim. He also said that Somali showed clear disregard for Korean law. And this is something he understood from the files that we, myself and the Somali conviction team, submitted to them, showing that he didn't care about Korean law, disrespected the
Yeah, risk of copycat streamers, like he was saying, like, I think this is the worst point. So, like, we punish people not only to take them away from society, not for revenge, not just for taking away them of society, out of society, but the main points of prison time, of a huge prison time, or death sentences, is to give a message to the other people outside to not do the same as him. And they are not like giving a message like if 6 months of jail time. Like they are not sending a message after all he done and all this long.
judge, the prosecutor, and really the Korean system at large. He said that the Korean system is an absolute joke, and because of that, he wanted to show how much of a joke it was.
Shout out the president, you. F the judge. F the prosecutor. Y'all can suck my dick.
He said that to the prosecutors, to the judge, and he only got like 6 months on jail. That's very amazing. That's very amazing. Probably if he didn't say this stuff, he wouldn't even be arrested.
Bitch ass niggas. Yeah. Suck my dick on soft.
Now, he also did bring up the risk of repeat copycat.
Oh, we need to, oh God, we need to bring together, like to gather all the judges in the world and throw them on fire. I don't know, melt them with lava. I don't know, throw a meteor of it. I don't care. I'm tired of evil judges. I'm tired of them.
Crimes, and saying that because Johnny Somali is a type of streamer which can be copied and repeated, this is a risk, and they need to set a precedent to deter other streamers from coming in. Now, whether or not 6 months will actually deter people.
Thank you, Morvak 359. Very complicated name. Thank you for the raid. Welcome everyone. We are reacting to Johnny Somali, Johnny Somali sentence by Legal Mindset. So, welcome everyone.
Is up for debate. A lot of people, even myself
Turned him
included,
into
think
a
it's not
battery,
severe
to
enough
be
to
honest.
deter everybody, but perhaps it can be some sort of deterrent. But he did factor that in as an aggravating factor. So when he handed down the sentence, he explained very clearly it was 6 months in prison with labor that will be in a specialized prison for labor, also in a prison for offenders because he had 5 years of offender status, so he can be nowhere near women or children, and he also has to be away from certain types of locations as well. So he can't do all sorts of labor, but he will be laboring in prison. He also will have an additional 20 days of detention, and his phones are permanently confiscated. He will never get
Not
back
enough.
that
Not
Galaxy
enough.
or iPhone ever again.
You see, all of these things, a lot of stuff separately, if you put in a list, is a lot of stuff, but effectively, it's nothing. It's the same as nothing. That's the feeling I have.
The judge also explained that there are several questions about flight risk and whether he would be immediately detained. They gave him the option to remain silent, but instead Johnny Somali decided to speak and decided to lie even more. So when Somali spoke, the judge asked him if he was still a student. Somali lied. He said, yes, Arizona State University. We all know this is untrue. He hasn't been a student for quite a long time. The judge asked if there's any other reason why he should not be immediately detained. Somali said, I have family in my home country that I miss deeply, and I know I have to pay for my crimes, but I'd be grateful if you gave me a second chance because I think I can do better. Well, the judge kind of ignored this plea because it didn't actually answer the question of why he shouldn't be immediately detained. Of course, they're not going to let him go home. That's ridiculous. He's already been sentenced. The prosecutor stated,
He
in fact,
almost
that he
got
does pose a severe
ended up
flight
going
risk and
home.
should be detained immediately. Now, he was given another chance to speak, to kind of respond to the prosecutor. Somali again lied and said, throughout the
no, I
court
don't
proceedings
believe
from
that. I don't
2025 to
believe.
now, I have refrained from doing anything to harass the public, so I feel this has taught me a vital lesson. Of course, we know that's not true. We have the sexual harassment charges that were filed based on his activity during that period, and those are filed in the Eastern District. We also had several instances where he was harassing people in public, where he was insulting people, getting drunk. So we know that's not true. But the judge said, okay, really, that none of that is relevant. We're going to find a
And Nila said, why was he not get ad time for lying court? He was supposed, it's really another detail. It's another detail to add up, like, on all of this. Like, just another one. Like, we have so many reasons for all of that is wrong up to now. And even so, here we are. Johnny Somali, after all this time, 6 months on jail, I'm not satisfied. I'm not near the close of being satisfied. Yeah, it is still better than nothing. Yeah, sure, but this clearly doesn't send a good message to society in any way, shape, or form. Not at all. This will not like make copycats like he was pointed out, like not thinking into the same as someone did. Much of the contrary, this will give a message to them to do the same.
significant flight risk and detain him immediately. So the judge then explained that there's 7 days for both Somali or the prosecution to appeal. This is very important because the prosecution
Very
can
good
find that
Midlands
this was
music.
too light.
Very
They
good.
recommended 3 years and he only got 6 months. So the prosecution has a chance to go to the court and say, no, we need more time. We think this is not fair. Somali can also try to appeal this, but the thing is for Somali, where appeals really
it's
aren't going to
not
work in his
fair. Oh,
favor,
come
is the
on.
average appeal takes about 6 months. So if Somali is angry about this, he has to appeal from jail. So while he'll be in jail, he'll be serving that time. By the time he would appeal it for saying it's too severe, well, his term will probably be up. He'll probably be at the end of his sentence where he's already served that prison labor. Now, the bailiff did escort Somali out after that, after they explained the chance for appeal, the 7
Hello,
days for
beholder.
appeal.
Hello.
His possessions were taken. Somali seemed to be prepared to go to jail as he brought a full backpack with all of his things, and he was handcuffed immediately and taken to a side room where he'll be bussed over to the detention center, and they'll eventually decide which prison to send him to. After Somali left the room and we saw him be, taken off and handcuffed, all the observers left. Now, Korean media was waiting outside, and myself, others, Atozi, we were interviewed about how we felt about it, and we gave our true opinion, which is we are happy that he was proven wrong, but we think that he deserved more time there. They also asked us if we were talking as YouTubers or Americans or whatever, and I answered that we're talking as
100%.
people interested in the truth, and we're interested in revealing the Korean court process and getting the truth out there, both to Korea, Americans, everybody, and making sure he serves the time that he should serve and he's punished appropriately. So here's my judgment. Somali was proven wrong when he said, I promise you I won't spend one day in jail.
I know for a fact I'm not gonna go to jail. Not one day in jail.
I'm going to
At
show you
least
guys
this, at
how
least.
far I can push the boundaries, and I'm going to show you that the Korean government is not going to do anything to me. The Korean legal system is not as strong.
At least I have to agree with something. Here, everything that of bad that John Somali did really served to this purpose that he said. He kind of did a social experiment. I'm not gonna lie on that. He actually did a social experiment because he pushed it like as most as he could. And he got 6 months of jail. With all the repercussion online, everyone like always like over this all the time. People wanted to know more about the trial. People accompanied this very close to see his condemnation. Everyone hoping that he would stay in jail. And all he got after all of that was 6 months. This served to all of us to confirm something that we already all know. That the judges all over the world, not just US, not just in my country, all over the world are all rotten to the core. The judicial system, it doesn't work for the good people anymore. It does work for the evil people. And in that aspect, yeah, he's shown to all of us that he wasn't wrong here.
As people think and perceive it to be.
That it makes me very, very happy that
6
Somali
months is
was once
nothing.
again proven wrong.
He said fuck to the judge. He said to judge to fuck himself, to the prosecutors. To how you get 6 months in jail after that?
Wrong on that. However, objectively, 6 months and 20 days is a light sentence. At least 2 years would have been appropriate, particularly given the prosecution's recommendation of 3 years. That
Yep.
would have been a compromise where they didn't get the full
For
3
me,
years,
I would give at
but
least
they also
10
didn't get a
years.
small amount. 6 months is too light. And because of that, we
I would
strongly
give it
encourage
10
the
years.
prosecution to
My
appeal.
justice
And we
would
will
be 10
be,
years.
along with the Somali conviction team, myself, encouraging the prosecutors to appeal. We also have the CHS child sexual harassment charges that are still floating out there in the Eastern District. We're going to be encouraging that district to bring those charges because those charges can be brought while Somali is in jail.
10 years and he would be marked like as a sexual predator forever, not temporarily forever.
Jail, and that could result in him being in Korea for an even longer time. But I want to know what you guys think about this final judgment about 6 months, 20 days in jail, and the 5 years of offender status. Do you think that's long enough? Do you think he needs more? And what do you think about the entire process? Until next time, bye. But I want to remind everybody that the Cabbage plushies are now live. So if you want...
Welcome everyone. Thank you very much, Nianos, for the raids. I will take this opportunity to. Nianos will be the first one that I will shout out now that I have the comment here. So let me see if the comment works now. Hello, Nianos. Hello, everyone. We were reacting to the legal mindset, the judgment of like Johnny Somali, the charges and etc. Give me 1 second that I will shout out like Nianos here. Let me see if it works. Giannis, you're the very first like that we use this. Let's see if it works now. I just like installed like bot-rig, so yeah, I'm gonna use it too. Oh, it worked. It appeared on the screen as well. It's kind of small. I'll see if I can increase this. Let me see if I can increase this. Very small. Let me do this again to see. Oh, it's bigger now? Way better? Way better?
Want to get one of these Cabbage plushies, if you like my coverage of the Ramzi Khalid Ismail Johnny Somali case, you can get one of those in the link below that's pinned
Why cabbage? I don't know his thing with cabbage, but yeah. I mean, I know the meaning of what people talking about the cabbage, but
in the comments and in the
I
description.
don't know
Thank you.
why he does it with the cabbage though. Yeah, it's like I said before you rate this come, like I was talking how much insatisfied I was with the prison time of Johnny Somali. too much unsatisfied, really. I think it's unfair. It took too much time for this resolution, and it just served like to prove all of us that the justice system just not fail only like with the American people in US, not only my culture as well, but it's the same on the entire world. Like they are not the only reason. The evil judges, the justice system is not the main reason of the decay of society, but it's probably one of the main ones. One of the main ones. And in my opinion, you cannot undo stuff. You cannot undo all the evil that there is on the society anymore before like you start to punish evil judges to recover the justice system. It's kind of not all, it's kind of as if like they block the path for things getting better. They get in the way of things getting better. And they guarantee that that everything will will oh my god, that everything will keep going worse within time. This I think that these evil judges are doing with the society, by the way. Before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, for the incredible support to my work here on YouTube, and especially my 5-tail Fox Tire members, the Holy Ball and Blaze Riser, and all my 3-tail Fox Tire members, Wolony Wolf, Fanny Sylvie, Heat himself, Zalost, Sheila Not Serious, Zella Josiah, Mr. and Your Ethan, Max Tenor, Nugutino, Aburi, TBCI, and DV8. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to everyone that have been supporting me on Ko-Fi, Kick, and to all of my YouTube members. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon. Link is in the description below. And that's it for today, my dear Foxlings. See you guys on the next one. Bye bye.